This is a Roy Clarke, the Entertainer cocktail pinball machine. It's made by Ally Leisure, and they're fairly rare. There's only like a few hundred of each title made, I do believe. Definitely less than 500, I think. Um, they were trying to capitalize off of the success of the other machines where they signed Elton John and other stars to promote the machine and kind of be the face of the machine. And Roy Clarke was other things too, but he was one of the main guys on Hee Haw, so that's where I know him from. Most people would, if anybody remembers him or Hee Haw anymore. But that's kind of like the history of the machine. Had problems with the board, the main MPU board. There were some chips on them, so there was just tons of these machines laying around dead. And then somebody along the way figured out how to backwards engineer that chip, and then made a little daughter board to basically be able to repair all of these MPU boards, and so now a lot of these are going back to life. This MPU does have one of those boards, and it has been worked on, but we're not getting any action, as you can see, and we're stuck on tilt. Let's see if we can figure it out. Gang, I'm back at the Roy Clarke today, and I want to go over just kind of what I have learned so far. You see that the tilt light is on here, and we have the credit display working, and that is about it as far as the front controls up here, basically the logic. And we have some lights that are on over here, and that's it. So what I've learned is that basically if it's in tilt, it's not going to do anything else, but when the game first starts, it goes through a reset circuit. And if it doesn't pass that reset circuit, then the tilt light will be stuck on, and then we'll have the exact problem that we're having. So this board here is where we had the issue, and I guess Mike owned it first, and he replaced the fuses and stuff down here and one of the bridge rectifiers. And so I needed to know if I was getting voltage up here to see if the game is booting or not. But the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to go into this self-test mode, where this LED here will just barely light and then go off after 2 seconds or so. Those are okay to stay on. Sometimes they'll blink, apparently. But this one, it's really dim, but it's still on, it's locked on, and it never goes out at all. So the next thing I wanted to do is I needed to check to see if it's getting 5 volts. So this blue capacitor that's right here on the corner of the board, you can stick your multimeter on the 2 legs of that on DC volts, and you should get 5 volts. Now if you're getting 5 volts and you have all these same symptoms that I have here, then your problem is the reset circuit on the board. And let me go ahead and show you on the spare board. This is a spare MPU that I have. It's going to be easier to show you guys on it. There's a couple pins here. I think it's like 11 and 16 that are the tilt and the maybe the tilt and the reset. I can't remember. There's 2 of them here that I tracked down, and then there's another one I think up in one of these. But anyway, they track down into these TTL chips. So basically, I know, I think one of them is this one, and I think one of these 4 over here is the other one that I tracked down. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have to get the logic probe out, and I'm going to have to actually probe this while it's on inside the game, because I don't have a harness or anything built for this for a test bench. But I think the problem is going to be in here and these TTL chips, but this is just going to be for example. This board isn't by any means working. You can see where people have worked on the board before. I need to go over that board and just make sure all their solder points are good. We have continuity all over the place, make sure that's good. And then I can start on this side. I think they did socket some of the chips that weren't socketed on the other board. So I'm just going to go ahead and test all of that work just to rule it out. After that, then I can get down into this and know that that's where I am, rather than it's some faulty part somewhere. So all I need is just one part to not be connected, and then we have an open trace, and no telling what that's going to do to us. All right, well, let me show you guys what I did go through here and test now to actually get to this point. So here's some things that I did check first before I figured that out. There's a slam switch, I think, yeah, right there. Here's a little bit better look at the coin door here. This is the slam switch on the left here. You can tell because it's got a little weight on the end of it. And I tried it both open and closed just to check. Come on, buddy. And this is the test switch here. You just hold it closed. I haven't been able to get it to work yet. Also, just a reminder, if you're working on yours and you're trying to use this, you have to take the ball out of the shooter lane. You have to take it out of here. That way. That's good. You have to pull this out because if it's on this switch over here, on that switch right there, and it won't start the test. Back to what I was saying. And there on this side over here, there is two. You have the rolling tilt and then the plumb bob tilt there. I checked those switches, all the wiring to all that, all the way back. I even unhooked the connectors that went to those switches just to rule out the fact that they were, the switches or something was bad on that end. So it wasn't the switches, it wasn't that. And I do need to clean up the pins. Well, I'm going to have to replace these connectors down there. They're not ones I can repin. And then I need to repin these over here, these three guys right here, and then the headers that are on that board as well, aside from the relay circuit. So once I get that going, then we'll find out what the problems are next. But that could be the only problem. But stick around. I'm going to work on the board. Next time I get a chance, in the next video, maybe we can get a little bit more action out of it. Thanks for watching.